All right. Here we
Yeah.
are, another
Woohoo.
episode of women's Hawkeye basketball. Let me take care of some business first. If you're currently watching, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, smash the subscriber button. Let's get a few more subs. It seems like every show we gain a couple of subs, and I'm really appreciative of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, next goal is to get to 500. See how we can get there. We're getting close.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
we can.
Yeah. Also, share it, like it, talk it up, and feel free to put your comments in tonight's episode. Tonight we're going to talk about UCLA game, which Molly was there in person.
Yeah.
The Michigan win, and then I want to kind of hit on some of the national stuff on the bracketing,
Yeah.
and then I also want to start out real quick with, if you don't think the Caitlin effect is for real, the fact that they sold out in 45 minutes for that Fever game on May 4th is crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law tried. She got on early this morning. She tried, and she was not one of the lucky ones to get tickets. So she's a little disappointed, but she said she noticed, though, that there was supposed to be no resales or scalping, which isn't it aftermarket places like SeatGeek and Vivid Seats?
Yeah, you know how they
aren't they considered aftermarket places?
That's why I felt like they just buy them all up, right?
Yeah. And courtside seats going for $44,000.
You got to be kidding me.
I am not kidding you. I saw it with my own eyes on Facebook.
That's a great number, 44, but geez.
Yeah. One of the I think the news media from Des Moines published a graph of Carver Hawkeye and showed what the seats were going for. The cheapest seat you could find was $1,800 up in the nosebleed seats.
You got to be kidding me.
No. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I'm kidding you not. This is crazy. I feel bad for all the Hawkeye fans who sat on the phone this morning or on the internet trying to get their tickets.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because somehow these SeatGeek type people and Vivid Seat people bought up a lot of tickets, and they're only supposed to buy 4. You can only get 4 at a time. So did these companies just sit out there and say, okay, every employee, you each get 4?
They hired people probably.
Yeah, hired people. Yeah. And it just hurts me because the general public was supposed to be able to get sales tomorrow, Friday.
Right.
There are no more tickets to sell tomorrow. General sale tomorrow is canceled.
Like that's because you want our Iowa Hawkeyes to be in there. You want the fan base to be in there.
Yeah.
Like they've been there forever through it all. Yeah. They should be allowed, but maybe.
Well, how about all those season ticket holders? I mean,
right?
Did the season ticket holders lose out on an opportunity?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You wouldn't think they would do that though. You'd think they allow them to get tickets and then open it up.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is that the Fever is totally running this event. Oh, I just noticed I spelled my name wrong on the. I'll have to edit that when we. Sorry, guys. I got in a hurry. I got on way early so that we could beat anybody else that was trying to get on tonight. Since only 3 of us could be live, and one of them is Hawkaholics. They are streaming live baseball stuff tonight with Jason, Brad, Brandon, and Chris.
Nice.
And so we usually stream on the Hawkaholic stuff, but we're all there, and leader of the gang of the Villains Network, which we are part of, has his own episode show going on tonight for sure. So, I wasn't sure we were going to be able to do this. I thought maybe we were going to have to go use the other StreamYard, my freebie one, where we don't have all the graphics and all the whatnots on that one.
Yeah. We're on, that's for sure. We made it.
All right. Okay. So we lose a heartbreaker against UCLA on Sunday. I mean, honestly, oh my God, how close we came to upsetting the top 2 teams in the Big Ten.
it was just an unbelievable game, like to be there and to actually just witness it, and then just witness the intensity of the crowd when they went on that 11-0 run, and every shot that they made, the crowd just went nuts. Just nuts. And like you said, they couldn't hear anything. They couldn't hear anything. Like they were just looking around, and they're like trying to use, hand signals, and they just couldn't figure it out. And
We
it was
appreciate the
funny.
crowd for showing up. I mean, the crowd showed
Oh
up
my
and were loud,
gosh.
and
And it
that's what
was,
helps. They don't realize what that does for
yeah.
your team.
I did notice though that they need to learn to cheer when we're in our slump. So when Iowa gets into
Yes.
that slump where they're not making anything and they're quiet for 5 minutes,
Would that be
Hawkeye
like our third
fans,
quarter of the Michigan game when they were
yeah,
dead quiet and we weren't?
yeah.
We got off to a bad start.
Look, Hawkeye fans, don't get bored. Put your phones away. Stop taking pictures and start screaming for them, because that's when they really need you.
Yeah.
Like they don't need it to be quiet in Carver Hawkeye ever.
No. No. And the
Like
acoustics
ever.
aren't so great that when it's quiet in Carver, you could probably hear the crickets.
Yeah, you can hear everybody talking. You can hear the chatter. It's just crazy because of how it just
Yeah.
funnels on the court, and it's just booming loud. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
No, you had some fantastic seats. You
Yeah,
sent me some pictures and
yeah,
posted some pictures from those
yeah,
seats. I mean, what great seats to have at the end of the game like that when you're
yeah. Because we
right
were just
underneath the
right.
shooting basket.
Yep, right there. Like right there watching that ball at the very end. And there was a lot of fouls that I don't think were called correctly. Lucy Olson at the end, where the girl held her frame wide and tripped Lucy, and then Lucy just
Mhm.
tripped and fell into the other girl, and they call a foul on her. I'm like,
Yeah. And Lucy said in the interview afterwards that the referee told her it was because she wasn't in the proper guarding stance.
uh,
I didn't know we had a proper guarding stance.
who wasn't in the proper guarding stance? UCLA who tripped her? Because it wasn't Lucy. How
Um,
could she be? She was falling.
I know it. I know it. Well, I think she was trying to move to guard that girl.
Yeah.
And then, she got tripped by that one girl, and then she fell on the girl with the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, she totally tripped. There was nothing she could do about it. I mean, it was nuts.
Well,
And
actually, she
then
didn't fall on the girl. The girl fell on her.
yeah,
So, is that something in basketball? Because I feel like that should be that if you fall, you get tripped and fall, and somebody
it's
falls over
incidental
you.
contact.
Why is the girl who's on the floor getting called for the foul when the girl should have gotten out of the way or stepped over her or something?
Or it's like incidental contact. They should just let that stuff go.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seemed like they were old school officials for some reason.
Hmm.
Because the guy at the end nearest us, they actually called a line violation on a free throw, and it was funny because
You were right there. Was it a line
yeah.
violation?
Well, I didn't even. I was like, "What did he just call?" And me and Jenny Noah were talking, and the guy in front of us turned around. He's like, "Have you ever seen that in the college game? And who knows how long?" And I was like, "I don't know. That's an old school ref because we have
Yeah.
not had line violation called in, geez, I don't know how long. Like
Yeah,
it's
and that's what
just."
the announcer said too. They said, "God, that
Yeah,
hasn't been called all season. I don't think."
yeah, it was almost like they just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I mean, it helped us because we got a free throw, but
Right? Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just,
And I
yeah.
mean, as much as the people want to get on the refs because they did call a game more in favor of UCLA, we got a few calls go our way too.
We did, but they
You know,
were the
but the ones
crowd
that we
was
needed, the ones
nuts
we
on
needed to
them.
go our way, did not go our way.
Yeah.
Like that tripping foul, that should have been a foul, a moving screen foul, right? Or not really a moving screen,
Yeah.
illegal
And then
screen.
yeah, and then like on that last shot towards the end, I mean, Stolke got pushed in the back. I mean, they were shoving and pushing, and they weren't calling any of that, but then they call that silly foul where she fell on the floor.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're gonna call it, or you're gonna call it late in the game, and it can be a game decider, then you got to do it both ways. You better
Yes, I
call it.
do. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Stokey getting pushed at the end
Yeah.
when she was trying to go for the ball. Did it not get called because maybe the clock had already expired? That
Well,
or was she
It
fouled
was
right before
crazy
the
because
clock?
she was because it was like dead silence. And then she got pushed, and then the ball like went and it just you heard it hit the side of the court, and then it went, and then
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
everybody
right.
just
That's
stood
right.
there, and we went,
They
what's
put
going
like
on?
2 seconds. They put like 0.2 seconds or point
No,
one
like
second
point
back on the
three, and I'm like,
point. Yeah.
and then it was
Yeah,
UCLA's ball. I was like, this is not gonna be good.
that was crazy. It's like did the referees get a phone call and saying make sure UCLA because we can't afford to have them lose
You would
because we
hope
need
not.
them for the Big Ten standings, which they are right now, the overall number one seed right
I
now,
know.
currently
I
going into the
know.
weekend.
Well, and I'm just gonna let you know that I'm telling you, those girls, UCLA. I mean, and it
Mhm.
is. I'm not. I have a little bit of love for them because I went there for a year
Yes.
and a
Mhm.
half.
Right.
I'll still always be a Bruin. But
Hmm.
you could tell that why they were a number one team for so many
Hmm.
weeks, because when Carver Hawkeye Arena was erupting and it was the loudest I think I've ever heard it. I mean, we got
Hmm.
loud with 7,000, 9,000 fans, but they were so loud they'd quiet the crowd. Immediately they were hitting a shot.
Yeah.
And we were all like, and then they hit it. We're like, oh, everybody just sat down. It
Yeah.
was, and to be able to do that, you have to be elite players, like,
Yeah.
because that's it. That I mean, and they did it consistently.
Yeah. Well, I think
So
one of the things my personal opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but I think one of the things that helped us control the first half the way we did was the fact that we had what's her name, the post player?
that's
Yeah, Betts. Yeah, we
yeah,
had her in foul trouble. She only played like 14
yep,
minutes of the first half.
yeah, because you can't stop her.
Yeah, you can't stop her. But when the second half, when she was free to play again, I
Mhm.
noticed that we struggled that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, you're right. And
You know,
and
and
then
good teams always come back. They know they can't get it all back at once, but good teams will always come back on you.
right, and then Kiki Rice got hot. She wasn't hot
Oh my
at
God,
all,
you couldn't
at
stop. You
all.
couldn't stop her.
Towards the end, she was done. When she hit the fourth quarter, she was done. Like, she's like, "You're not. This is not happening. I'm taking over."
Yeah, yeah,
So
and that
yeah,
3-pointer that she shot very near the end of the game was kind of the dagger
it
overall.
really was. It
You know.
really, really was. And it was funny because Jenny Nolan and I were talking, and I think Betts is like what, 6'8" or something like that.
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
She's
6'7",
huge.
6'8". Yeah.
Yeah, and like Jenny is 6'6", so she dwarfs me. Like, I mean, I was like, dang, Jenny, I didn't think, I can't remember you being that big. I mean, that tall. Like, she's just, I mean, and so if she's probably like what, like this above me, Jenny. So there
Really,
you, I'm
I thought
big.
you were about that height too. How tall are
I'm like
you?
6'3", so I'm six
Okay.
three, and so
All right.
Jenny's 6'6".
Mhm.
So
Okay.
then that girl's like that, like, yeah, it's insane, and she can run the floor, and she can move up under the basket like a guard. I mean, and then we were talking about like maybe 00. I can't remember. She came in the game, and we thought she was going in for a post player. Now she was going in for a guard. We're like, that girl's a giant.
She
Like,
was.
they
She
don't
was.
get short. Like, they those are
Yeah.
big girls.
Well, I think the one thing that makes UCLA number one, and the reason why they're the number all one seed right now, is they got talent and depth.
They do. They
And
do.
we're going to get there. We're
We
going to
are.
get there with what we got coming and what we're pursuing.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
We're going to be that. We're going to be that
Well,
UCLA. We might be that number one overall seed in a couple years.
yeah, and I just need you to know, like, where I was sitting in the view that I had when
Uh-huh.
Kylie and a Falter and all of them were going to the basket on UCLA. They
Hmm.
were not backing down. Like, they were going straight to the basket, driving hard. I mean, it was nuts. And plus, just to see, I walked down along, like, right on the court before pregame, and I'm like, Stremlow and them are way bigger than I thought. They really are. Like, and Sulky looks taller than 6'3". I'm sorry, but she just does. And it was very interesting just to see them up close and personal, because I think on TV, they always have that panned away view of them,
Yeah.
and you don't really get these
Mhm.
girls are big, and they just go at people. Like,
Yes.
seeing it in person is a completely different thing. Like, you just can't understand how strong, you know, and then just how goofy they are too. Like, they're just goofy. Like, I love when a falter just starts going off and then just starts smiling and laughing, because she's like almost like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I'm like, it's great, Sid. Keep it up.
Yeah. She's listed at 5'10", and in that game she had 7 points, and
Which
11 rebounds. That girl has become a rebounding machine, and she's
she's got
going
it.
up
And that's what
against.
we were saying. Like, we were like, oh, and then we're sitting there and I'm like, why are they not running a 1-3-1? And I said, I know, put Sid on the backside so she
Mhm,
can run in on big old girl. Cause I know when you saw there, it seemed like they were just lobbing it in, lobbing it in. It
mhm,
was so
right.
easy. I'm like, this is gonna be a long game for us if they don't learn how to double down on that post player.
Mhm.
Right. And we just kept saying, double down, double down. We're like yelling at them. But they finally went in, and it was funny because Jenny's like, oh my God, they're in a 1-3-1. Look, they're doing it. And we're like, they sure are.
Well, that's kind of
And it
cool that you former players can sit together and can keep the game as you're going,
Oh my
and you
gosh, it
can
was
and you
great.
can recognize something that they should run, and then they
Yeah,
do it. That makes
yeah.
you guys feel good. That means you guys
Oh
should
yeah.
be coaching.
Well, yeah, I know. Like, I think she said she's doing her own massage therapy, like something, and I don't know if she's still doing that, but back in the day, that's what she was going to open up, and,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just funny because
By the
we
way, we
talked.
got to get her on this show.
We do, we will. Because we talked about how well coached we were, and
Hmm.
how
Yeah.
well prepared we were by our coaches.
Mhm.
Like, it didn't bother us, the noise. Like, we would know exactly what it is that we need to do. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just and I see it transferring slowly but surely with Jan and her coaching staff, because Jenny and I were like, well, hopefully the coaching staff is over there putting that in her ear, or
Mhm.
or hopefully they're mentioning, hey, maybe we should do this, or and I'm like, yeah, I mean, you would think so, right? Like,
Yeah. But
I
I know
don't
that
know.
Jen was in her interview the other night after the UCLA loss, was she was tired of moral victories, that it was time, that they're getting so close, that it was time they got over the hump and actually put one of those teams away.
Right. Well,
You know?
it's perfect timing, because now you're going to do it in the tournament.
Yeah. Well, they got past. I think Michigan was a big story. I don't think a lot of people thought that our girls could beat Michigan, and they did.
Yeah.
And
Handily. I think they did a
handily,
great
yeah.
job.
I know I got
Um,
nervous when it got down to
you
three. Was it
did.
3 or 4 points? I was getting nervous.
Because you're like, here we go again. I was like, I know, but it'll be all right. I mean, because they did do a run against UCLA, and they did, like, they were up, and then UCLA came back, and then they had their run, and that's against a former number one team, and a team that does deserve to still be number one. Just saying. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's
Apparently, yeah.
crazy.
I don't know. Texas is the overall number one team this week in the polls, but
Yeah,
the NCAA has given UCLA the number one seed in the tournament as
and
of
they're
now.
right.
As
They're
of now,
right.
and that could change over the weekend.
I think they're right. I really do. I just watching them and
I
just
would. I would. UCLA, they got beat by a crosstown rival,
yep,
and then they got beat by
happens.
Iowa, which they run into a buzzsaw, which a lot of people probably saw that coming with the Caitlin Clark deal and being in the house. Kate Martin was back. I don't know if Gabby was there or not, but you know, and all that going on, what was going on that day. I mean, you know,
I don't see
if
them.
that had been a regular game like when UCLA came to
Yeah.
town,
Go.
USC probably would not have won that game. I mean, probably would have
Yeah.
won.
But they had Cancer Awareness Day.
Hmm.
It was total pink out. There was pink out. They had light shows. I mean, it
Yeah,
was loud in there. I mean, it
yeah,
was. I mean, I know the hype wasn't there, but they did have Cooper DeJean, which that was
yeah.
great.
I think the crowd was more than hyped. But like you said earlier, when things start to turn around, stop getting quiet and sitting on your hands or taking
Yeah, don't do
pictures, like
that.
you said. or get off the internet. And if you're looking to see what's going on or something, just cheer, get in there and
Yeah,
cheer hard because, like you
because they
said, that's when
need
they need
you.
it the most. And I wish people would understand that, but and this, I just don't know. I think after watching the men lose to Illinois the other night
Yeah,
and
did they
watching
do
where they
that?
put the students
They
section,
did it. Yeah, yes.
yeah, I mean, I was so jealous because number one, on the men's game, we don't have students showing up to the game, let alone putting them in a spot where they can really be effective.
Well,
But
yeah, and it's like they need to pull the stands down all the way down. Like in that back part of where the
mhm,
basket is,
yeah,
there's just too much room. They leave
there
a
is.
lot of room for like
Hmm.
wheelchair, I get it. They leave a lot of room for the photographers, they leave a lot of
Right.
room for the cheerleaders, but nobody
Hmm.
else does that. Like you could put a whole thing of bleachers in there. Like you
Yes, you
really
could.
could.
You could.
Because it's up. I mean, it's way up. Like where we
Yeah.
sat, it's like I would have to jump down. I mean, there's stairs that go down.
Yeah.
So there's room right there where you could put all of those um students that would love it.
Yeah. Apparently, we had Beth Getz is working on fundraising for a multi-million-dollar upgrade to Carver Hawkeye. Which, I'll be honest with you, I thought we did that about 10 years ago, but I guess we're doing it again.
They probably did it on the interior of Carver Hawkeye Arena. Like, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
like
The
like
upstairs part.
yeah,
The
and then yeah, the upstairs part, and then like underneath where like all of our locker rooms and the
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
guarantee they turned that into insanity. It's probably nothing like it was when I was there.
yeah. Now I got a question for you.
Mhm.
I noticed that all of our away games,
Mhm.
you know how like when our home games are, we're sitting in a little presser behind the microphone, the girls, the coaches. But but when the girls and the coaches on away games are sitting out in the hallway against a brick wall, what's that all about? I mean, are they not allowed to go into the media room at the away games?
They do go into the media room, but it may just be for local. I don't know, but I know we go in because we always have to go sit down, and it was always like, "Ill Ohio State behind us," or "Ugh,
Yeah.
Purdue,"
Yeah. Oh, and I know, and I hear you on that part, but like, okay, like we haven't really talked much about the Michigan win yet, but like all the interviews that I posted, all of them were not in a media room in front of a microphone with people asking questions. It's a few reporters crowded around the girls last night asking their questions
Maybe it
out
was
in the
easy.
hallway somewhere.
Yeah, maybe it was easier. They got them after
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
could,
who I don't know who was doing the interviews, but maybe they weren't allowed in. I don't know. That's
yeah,
weird, isn't it?
or maybe since if after Lisa got mad about getting mad about not being first last year. Maybe
Feel like you can't go at all now.
can't go at all now.
You want to whine about it? Watch what we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
I-
Well, that's a great
no.
experience. I almost invited another fan who follows the Talking Hawkeye sports page on my Facebook, and she
Yeah.
mentioned that she was too at the game. She was about the same position you were, but on the other side of the basket.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
She's.
because we actually were over there at first
Hmm.
because my eyes are so bad. So I
Hmm.
thought I was in section
Hmm.
I, but I was actually in section double I.
A double I.
And I had to have a student check it for me. And she goes, "Oh no, you're over there in the double I," like I or whatever, because they're all
Yeah.
numbers. Or I mean
Well,
letters.
yeah,
Sorry.
I don't. There's must be something about that section because it seems like every time I've gone to a basketball game with because I went to a lot of them with my grandson before we
Mhm.
moved away from Iowa, and we always sat in that same area.
Maybe that's
Maybe a
just where
row
they.
up, a row down, or something. But
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know. I know now that they put the families on the floor, like right on the floor, or like just right behind where the things go down.
yeah,
Yeah, so they put them right there because like Stolke and Lucy's parents were sitting there. It looked like Kiki Rice's maybe grandfather or something.
mhm,
because she went over and talked to him after the game, and he was right on the side.
So are they
Um,
right on the court, or are they sitting in the row behind
yeah,
the benches?
yeah, like there was like so the benches on that side, and they're right on the other side, right on the court.
Yeah,
But then like Stokey's mom and everybody else was up just a little bit more.
yeah.
And I
Well, I
think
will
they
tell
like
you,
that better because you can really see then.
yeah, I like following Hannah's mom on TikTok because she always brings her own video to it, and she always has some great commentary.
I know. She's crazy.
Oh yeah, you gotta love her.
You do. It's
I'm gonna
funny.
miss her once Hannah leaves.
I
I
know.
don't know how many other parents would be willing to do what she does.
I know. I
Okay.
know. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Michigan. A big win. Because if we
Yeah.
can beat Wisconsin Sunday, that would make Iowa 10-8 in the standings.
That's where we
I
wanted them.
That's where we wanted them. But I don't know, because of how close everybody is. There's a lot of teams in there mixed
Mm-hmm.
up, and so I'm not quite sure if they can get us. Somebody said they might get as high as 6 or 7, or they might be as low as 9 or 10. But it depends on how everything shakes out this weekend. But I mean, we'll know after
I
Sunday.
mean,
When
again, like
Sunday's done,
really,
we'll know.
right? And like again, like what does it really matter? Because look how they seeded them last year. I mean, they
Yeah,
put them in one of the hardest brackets ever,
yeah.
and
I
I'm
was just
like,
talking about the Big Ten bracket, which is
oh,
based
okay,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
which
and
is based on
again,
where they finish. I have no idea what the odds makers are going to do. The people who put together the tournament,
yeah,
where they're gonna
yeah,
place Iowa.
yeah. I
I think it's a crapshoot. I don't know, but we know that they should be comfortably in.
Mhm,
They got 19 wins. If they can win Sunday, which I hate to say, take it for granted win,
mhm.
but I don't want to say that because you got to come out and still play the game.
You do, but again,
And
I think
Wisconsin
they.
had an upset of somebody earlier this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They
So,
had they had a different energy about them though after they came off of the UCLA game. I don't know if you noticed that,
oh yeah,
but they just came out with so much more confidence. Probably like, look what we did, to the number one team, the big team. Like we stood up to them. They went up against the biggest guards. They went up against the biggest post players. I mean, and they didn't back
mhm,
down.
yeah,
So I think it gave them a lot of confidence, and gosh, it was just amazing to see a Falter just uh starting to just she's leading now, and I love it. Like that girl deserves that so much.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I'm gonna show a comment that Byron put up. He's helped me out with some basketball shows and for men's basketball, and I'm hoping we can again. But judging by the pictures he has sent me on the men's game, he's sitting in the same general spot you were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great
Hi,
season.
Byron. It's good
It
to see
is.
you on the show tonight.
I mean, I wouldn't hey, I'm taking free tickets anytime. I'm just letting you know, and those are great.
Yeah, he was in HH, so that should be
Yep.
right
So
next
he
to
was
where you
just
were.
yeah, he was just next to us.
Yeah.
You're an
Okay.
I, he's an HH. It's like one over.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's hard to judge from pictures exactly where you guys are sitting, but I knew from the you guys were similar spots.
Yes, for sure. For sure. It's literally I could probably touch it where we were at.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, let's go over this because a Falter,
Man.
she was not going to let this team lose, and I think I
She
mentioned that to you in
She
the
was killing it.
4 for 4 from the 3-point line.
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
I'd keep shooting too if I were her. She couldn't miss. It was great. And she just was
Yeah.
laughing about it. She kept smiling. She's like, this is
Yeah.
great.
24 points. That's got to be a career high.
Absolutely.
This was her 6th double of the year.
Yeah.
I think I wrote down here, I made a typo that she pulled down 10 rebounds, but I believe she pulled down 11 rebounds. Oh, heck, I didn't even finish typing it.
That's
Oh,
okay.
you know what? I got everything messed up. None of that's right. I got Olsen for 32 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. That must be an old one. That is an old one.
Yeah, that is an old one.
I'm gonna go
Sid
hang on for a
13. Yeah,
second. We
no,
gotta
no.
stop. We gotta stop scrolling that.
Yeah, Sid. No, she did. And then Olsen stepped up, and it was just. I mean, I loved how Olsen was just coming off the screen and finally just taking the shot instead of hesitating.
Yep.
But she just totally came off of it. Bam! She was hitting that shot.
Yeah, I
It's-
mean, she went nuts. And then Olsen, she was having a problem, but in the second quarter, toward the end, she was
Mhm.
heating it up. Finished the halftime with 16 points, so she only scored 4 more points. Did
Mhm.
not make any free throws, but I also don't think she actually went to the free throw line either.
No, it
And
seemed like they were really letting them play.
it did. That's probably one of the fewest foul call games I've seen. And
Yeah.
of course, Michigan was fouling like crazy at the end because they had some fouls to make up to.
Yep. 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 And I mean, but it was a typical run and gun Iowa game. They were being aggressive defensively. I love seeing that. But I'm telling you, like, Sid's got like sticky hands or something. I don't know how she gets the ball like that. She just got it in her head. She's getting that rebound.
Yeah.
I mean, she went in and got it against the big old girl from UCLA a couple times. I'm like, what the? What? And I said, Jenny, what would you do if a little girl came in and they took the ball from you like that? She's like, look at her and go, what the heck? How'd you get in here?
Yeah. I gotta run. I gotta run one of our commercials.
Okay.
Hopefully, this is the right one.
Tonight we're on our border, we stick to the pen. Chaos and disorder, play them like a violin. I feel the fever rising, what a joy to see your hands. If you got something to say to me, so come on, here I stand. I start to shiver when it's out of control.
Okay. We're not on that one. The new one's not posted yet. Where we are on that one, but we are part of the Villain Sports Media Network.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we stream off of Hawkaholics page, and sometimes off of other people's pages. But tonight, everybody's live, so we're just streaming on YouTube. So hopefully, you guys are enjoying it off of YouTube
Right?
tonight. And I will send it out to you guys, the ones who aren't live. But guys, please, hey, if you guys, there's some of you guys in here. Let's get some more comments in here. Let's
Yeah.
get some questions.
Ask some
We
questions.
would love to get that from you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk more. Okay, Lucy, Hannah, 13 points,
Mm-hmm.
only 1 point in the second half. But this is the most amazing stat of the night for me for Hannah. 5 for 6 free throws.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Hannah's improved a lot in her free throws, but off and on she can struggle and
Yeah,
miss
she
a lot
does.
too.
She just does. It's just that's her game.
Mm.
She struggles.
Yeah. And then Kylie and Taylor McCabe each had 6 points in the game. You know,
And they were. I mean, they were needed. Every little point that they bring now is what has to
yeah,
happen. I mean,
yeah. Well, Kylie's role has just seemed to be adjusted to whoever the best person on the team is. Just stick
she's
Kylie on
guarding
them,
them.
and
Mhm.
yeah, she's guarding them, and she's doing a great job, I think, on that.
Yep.
So you know, when she only contributes 6 points, I'm okay with that.
She does
I
so
mean,
much.
I would be nice if she could contribute some more points. They might
Yep.
need it, but I understand that she's really focused on getting the ball back for Iowa
Yep.
and
She
keeping
does
usually
the.
their best guard from shooting.
Yeah, she's the scrapper, blue collar worker that will run through that wall for you.
Yeah,
Her and Stremlo will do it.
yeah.
You put them
And
in there, and they.
I learned something from Chad Lysicle's text messages, which I follow this morning. Kylie has another year if she wants it.
Hmm.
I did not know. I thought she was on her 6th year already, but apparently she has 6 years coming.
I wonder what.
Because remember, she had a year at Iowa State.
Right. I wonder what she's. I get. I probably depends on what she's doing, school wise.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
if school wise, she's gonna be able to take advantage of that. I guarantee she'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just depends, where she's at. And on a personal note, though, I hope Kylie decides to move on.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with her ability to play, because she'll do nothing but help the team next year if she comes back,
Mhm.
and she'll be a good senior leader.
It just keeps those freshmen, now sophomores, on the bench longer.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Is
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
we're already gonna have some playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll keep the ones that need to be out there on the floor. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Kelvin says, yeah, because she has a COVID year plus ACL year and another year for Kylie. Yeah. You know,
Jeez.
I'm kind of looking at, who's getting stuck on the bench, because we already have 5 great freshmen. One of
Yeah.
them is not playing unless we're in a blowout situation. And so I'm just trying to think of, playing time, and we got some great girls coming next year, a couple girls
Yeah.
here.
I
We need playing time for them, and it's just like, what are we going to do with everybody next year?
I know. I mean,
Plus we probably have Jada and help me out, AJ Echinger, both coming back next year. They're both in their junior year. Although I saw someone said today that AJ was actually a senior, and I don't know about that. I thought she was a junior.
looks younger, but that's just me.
Yeah,
But I mean, I get it. It's so hard because you try to think about like what's going on as a coach, like you want to know. And that's one thing Jenny and I were talking about. Her freshman year, she said my brain and my mind and my soul and my stuff and everything that I was, it was just different. I just didn't like have that confidence that I should have had, and I didn't really talk to anybody about it. And so, there's things that you guys like, we don't understand, like, okay, but maybe our coaches see it and they know and they feel that's why they're not ready yet, because they are having some of those doubts, self-doubt, right?
Yeah.
And as fans, you guys don't get to see us when we're like that, and they put us in situations in practice to bring that out in us, so they just do, like. And if you're not handling it under pressure situation, practice game, how are you going to handle it in front of 15,000 people sold out against the number 1 team? Just saying. I mean, because you even said it yesterday. You were like, yeah, we're having some freshman mistakes there. Remember, they were hurting us a little bit.
I just said you gotta love the freshman growing pains we're going
Yeah,
through.
those growing pains, exactly. I mean, especially when who was it, Guyton, like dribbled down and kind of rolled and the ball went out of bounds, and everybody was like, and they just pick her up. They'll be like, "You're okay."
Talk to me about Guyton trying to go into the hoop against a 6'8". Okay, come on.
It just took the
You don't
ball.
do that. I don't know I don't know if she was expecting, bets to fall on her or what. That was like she was thinking about a foul, and then I know that we need to see more of Ava, and that's one of the things.
Yeah, she had more playing time at the beginning of the year when they, I guess it was the level.
That's when Hannah was still the
level.
4.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that O'Grady has fallen off a little bit, but because they're not giving her as much playing time anymore.
Yeah.
Early on in the season, she was doing really well.
Yeah.
Really well. She's still my most improved player of the year right now.
I mean, and she hit some clutch shots in that, that short corner she'd hit in the UCLA game for sure.
Yeah.
O'Grady was like, I mean, every little shot that they can come in and give Hannah time to rest or be a bigger body against someone like, UCLA's post players, USC's post players. I mean, heck, everybody's post players, it seems nowadays.
So according to Calvin,
Yeah.
AJ is going to be done after this year. She's planning on going into coaching.
Oh.
He says that we have 0 juniors in next year's class, which I believe. But I thought we had a couple juniors in this class, which I thought were both AJ and
which would be
Jada.
seniors.
Huh?
Yeah, which would be seniors. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm confused, but Johnson only sophomore, but a red shirt. Yeah. So she would be considered a red shirt sophomore next year. Yeah. Because she's taking this year off.
Well, and you'll see too if if the loyalty is there and if they stay, some of the players that aren't getting playing time, are they going to stay loyal to Iowa or are they going to go put themselves in the porthole?
Yeah. I think
Now, if you don't,
honestly, I think what we got coming back is
Yeah.
loyal. I
I do
think
too.
I think the one concern I have that might not, but I think she's loyal. And she also explained that her major, that it's hard to transfer some of those classes to another college.
Yeah, it's huge. See, that's the
And
difference.
that would be Taylor McKay, because I could see her being the one, and
But
seniors next year: Hannah, Kylie, McCabe, Jada. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those will all be senior. Well, Kylie, if she decides to come back, she's a senior this year. She'll be a senior again next year.
yeah.
I guess we'll know if she walks out with the senior class on Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure will.
And
But
so
I don't.
How many seniors we got this year? We got Lucy, Sid. Do we have anybody on the bench who's not played, or? Well, I guess AJ. I honestly did not think AJ was that old. Gosh darn.
She looks young.
Yeah.
She's super young.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I love her. I love her and Jada's TikToks. They are so fun.
Yeah. Well, and they're so enthusiastic on the bench too. Like, it's
Mhm.
fun to watch that. Like, you can peek at the bench while the game's going on, and they're just over there laughing or cheering or jumping up and down, and and I was over there hitting Jenny. I was like, oh my god, and I'm like, you remember we used to do this on the bench? And she's like, yes, I do. Tideback, stop hitting me.
Was Jenny up on the bench a lot or played a lot? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember her.
She had a stress fracture in her the big bone of her leg her freshman year. So that was my senior year. So she had to redshirt.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, I don't know, but she just said it was fine with her because she was not in the right mindset and wasn't really ready. And she comes from Muscatine, Iowa.
Oh, okay. Is that down near the Quad Cities somewhere?
I think so. Yeah.
That'd be in Calvin's neck of the woods. He's a Quad City guy.
Yeah. So I mean, still small town Iowa, and it's just you leave home and you get a little homesick, or and none of us should ever doubt our ability to shoot the basketball. I mean, if you're recruited to play in Iowa, you can shoot the basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to come in with the confidence, because look at it this way: if Iowa recruits you, you've got the skill set and the mindset to play there. Come in with that, much like the 4 freshmen have this year.
Yeah.
And
they were picked to be there for a reason.
Yeah. The one thing I would like to see different out of Ava Hayden is focus more on getting that ball through the net. A couple times, I know she was hurrying it up. She just kind of threw it up, but she had some smooth moves to the basket when she did score.
Yeah.
I think she also scored 3 buckets and 6 points yesterday.
It's a different speed, so you got to get used to the speed. From high school to college, again, then college to the WNBA, the speed is extremely different. So once she gets in there, I give her next year. She's going to be dominating. She'll dominate next year. Her and Stolke, O'Grady, right? Yeah. Still be back.
O'Grady's gone, I think.
Is she?
Yeah, O'Grady's gone. She's a senior this year.
Okay, well, so you'll have Stolke and Hayden and whoever else they bring in, because didn't we say they were bringing in some big old girls again? I thought.
Yeah.
5'11", no, 5'11", 5'10", 6 something.
I know that it's a guard heavy class.
It is guard heavy. You're right. And there isn't, not yet, but you never know. You never know, and it doesn't matter though, because they can still run the heck out of people.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is defensively.
Yeah.
So
what we have next year, our only real starters coming back, is McCabe is a part-time starter. Starts some games she doesn't. And Hannah, who's a full-time starter. Those are our only starters coming back for next year. I mean, is it too early to start looking ahead to next year and see what we got?
Oh, good God. And freshmen better learn real quick.
I got a feeling Ava Hayden will be our starting post.
Yeah, they better start learning real quick.
Yeah.
sophomore sensations now. I'm just
Chevrolet
letting you know.
or Mulaney will move to the 4. One of those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Johnson or Guyton will be our point guards. Probably Guyton starts and Johnson backs her up.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see because she showed some flashes before she got hurt last year. Johnson, and so she got to play a little bit. So she's shown some flashes. Eddie Deal will probably figure in the rotation somewhere.
Yeah.
Next
It'll
year.
be cool to see if they're, if they can step right on the floor and play. You know, if they're that ready, if they're that powerful, it'll be interesting.
We had 4 of the 5 this year ready to go. And the only reason why Callie Levine is because she spent the entire summer injured, and she didn't get the same kind of workout. She was kind of doing the workouts with Hannah and Aaliyah Guyton. All 3 of them didn't do the summer workouts like the rest of the team did.
Oh
And
no!
I think that set her back, so she didn't get what
It
she
does
needed.
put you behind.
You know, she got way behind, and from what her dad has told me, and we can verify this later, is that she was actually hurt in the state championship game last year. And when I remember, because I did watch that game because I wanted to see her, I do remember her look like she was playing hurt, but she was out there giving it everything she had and looked really good doing it too. So
it's awesome.
yeah,
But I know those injuries, they're not fun.
yeah. I got to run into another break.
Okay.
And then
we will come on back.
Yeah. We're going to do Jimbo today. Yeah.
I wonder how many tattoos he gets from that.
Yeah. I know.
It got cold. It's cold. It's cold today in Georgia.
Guess what it was here today?
What?
85.
Yeah, it was 75, 80 yesterday, and then all of a sudden I went out to the soccer field and I'm like, what's going on?
Changed overnight, huh?
The cold front came in. I'm like, what is going on? And it's like 60. I mean, it's not cold, but like, when that wind starts blowing through and just on a field alone is like, oh my God, it's cold. It was 62 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I spent the whole morning in Hollywood and Burbank.
Nice.
They're right next door to each other, by the way.
Yes.
Getting my new eyeball. Can you guys tell? It looks better. It looks a
Yeah.
lot better than it usually does.
Yeah. Look at
this
that.
one. Yeah, this one.
I can tell, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as shut down as much. It actually fits properly and everything. And in this case, see if I can get that up there, is the old eye.
Oh, no. Put that in your pocket.
But because we had, oh my gosh, this is supposed to be an hour and a half trip down there. It took us over 3 hours because the traffic was really brutal. They even took us off the freeway and rerouted us 20 miles around the freeway and then put us back on the freeway where it was backed up anyway. And then once you get to that. Yeah, and once you get to the Hollywood freeway, after you get off the 5, the traffic jam on the 5 and you get on the Hollywood freeway, it's pretty much smooth sailing. No, not today.
No.
I almost didn't make my appointment on time.
Jeez. Because I remember that traffic and it is not fun.
No, it's not. It's not. I was telling the guy I drove down with, I don't think I could do this every day of my life.
No.
This is crazy. And people actually do this every day of their life down there.
Yeah, and it's so many lanes across. Like, I remember how giant it looked. I mean, Texas is, I think, one of the only other places where I've seen that. Atlanta, they don't do enough. They need like 12 more lanes added to what they do. The Atlanta traffic is ridiculous.
I will tell you, the traffic in Los Angeles is horrible. About as far as I will go, normally on my own, is Burbank. After that, I'm done. I won't even go on the 405 anymore.
No,
You know.
I don't like any of it.
Yeah. Oh, my wife and I like to go to Santa Monica Pier and
Yeah.
Venice
Yep.
Beach, and
Yep.
you have to use the 405 to get there. And I think it's the 10 after that.
Mm.
The 10 takes you into, I believe that's the Santa Monica Freeway. I could be wrong. But going there in the morning is never a problem. But leaving in the afternoon when you want to leave, forget it.
Can't do
Forget
it.
it. I spend more time trying to get from Santa Monica to the 405, which is only a few miles, than I would if I was driving down. The driving
Yep.
time. I spend as
Yep.
much time doing that, and it's
It's
crazy. But I know
nuts.
these people didn't come here to listen to us talk
No.
about LA traffic.
Reminisce about the LA
Yeah.
traffic.
I wanted to kind of go over some stats with the
Mhm.
Iowa-Michigan game.
Yeah.
So our field goal percentage was 52.5, so basically 53%.
Yeah.
Michigan was at 42%. We had a staggering 56% for 3 points, and they did 33%. But I want to point out that the first half we were at 75% on because that was mentioned in the write up to this morning, and it was also mentioned on TV yesterday at the halftime stats that
Mhm.
75% three point shooting. Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, because when you have a Fulter who's 100% from the 3-point line,
Yeah, that helps.
it
And then you
helps a ton.
got Lucy, toward the end of the second half. I mean,
Doing
the
the
second
same
quarter.
thing.
Yeah, doing the same thing.
Yeah,
And
it keeps
so,
that up pretty high.
yeah, free throw percentage was 78%. I still want to see that get higher, but I
Yeah,
think
you get 80.
it's an
Mhm.
improvement over some of the close losses they had,
Yeah.
where their
Yeah.
free throw shooting was really bad.
Yeah, they should have 80. They should be at 80%.
But Michigan at 68%.
Wow.
Free throw shooting. They could have
Now,
got themselves back in the game with better free throw shooting.
yeah, and then that little guard, I don't remember who she was, but she was shooting 3 for 3 points versus 3-point with us back and forth for I don't know how long.
Yeah. Gosh,
From Michigan.
we hit a 3, they hit a 3, we hit a 3.
Yeah, everybody's got a 3. I was like, geez.
You'll be happy about this. Turnovers were right at 15 for Iowa.
Yep, there you go. That's how you win. That's exactly how you win. You keep that down.
Yeah. 16 for Michigan, so we turned them over a little more than they turned us over. We had 12 steals compared to their 7. 12 steals.
Wow.
I think that's and I remember quite a few of them stepping in there, and
That's
I can
the
think
difference.
of a few right now.
Yeah, that's the difference right there.
Yeah.
Because they probably we more than likely scored on those steals. More than likely.
Yeah. I think there was one that we had an easy lay in, and it laid it up there and totally missed, and then it rebounded to the girl who was following from I mean, not from UCLA, but Michigan.
Yeah.
And that's hard. That's hard to watch, those easy lay-ins, uncontested lay-ins.
Yeah.
I gotta get back to my here we go.
Well, like, you gotta make that layup.
Okay. All right. Byron says rush hour in Cedar Rapids lasts about 10 minutes. Yeah. The freeway only goes about 5 or 6 miles through town.
I know. Dude, it only takes like 30 minutes to get to Iowa City.
Oh God, does it take that long now from Cedar Rapids?
Well, they kind of route you around, and it depends on where you go. And if you go through Coralville, it's a little bit different. If you go in the backside of Carver Hawkeye, it's a little bit different. But
well, for football, I've always just shot down the 380 to what becomes 218 once you pass 80.
Yep.
And then gone to Melrose and just parked over there near
Melrose.
the golf course.
That's the way I
parked near the golf course. Yeah, and it's for some reason, even with all the people parked over there and all the people having to walk to their cars from the stadium.
Yeah,
it's still pretty easy getting out. Yeah, I don't know if they can still park across the street now or not from the golf course. For the football, I know they used to charge. You used to pay a good penny to park there, but I always parked there because that was easy to get in and out.
Well, the crazy part is they don't charge anything for basketball parking, which is nuts.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine how much money they can make? They're just letting that money sit out there.
I did not know that.
No,
They
don't
do charge.
that.
Well, the parking lot right there in front of
Yeah,
Carver.
it's handicap.
You got charged. You got charged for that, right?
It's mainly handicap parking, yeah.
Is
But
it?
so the south entrance, and then the main one right in front, and then it has the
Yeah.
dentistry building on the backside.
Yeah.
I parked over just across the street in some random little, and I just walked over, and I'm like, oh well, I'm good.
Yeah.
I should have
Well-
parked in a different spot though, because it took me like an hour to get out of Iowa City.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Most of my parking was going down the road between Carver and I think it's the baseball field or the football practice field.
Yep.
There's a parking lot down there that I used to park in.
Yep.
Most of the time. But one of the games I went to was with my grandson to a yeah, I think it's the Think Buying lot that I parked
It
in.
is.
Yeah. But it was a NIT game, basketball men's, against I think it was South Dakota State or South Dakota.
Oh my
A
gosh.
former Hawkeye player was on that. And I did not have to pay. I got to park in that
God.
what you call the handicap parking lot. They just let me park there. He goes, "Yeah, you can park here. I don't care." And he didn't charge me anything. That was the closest I ever got to park the Carver.
Yeah, I was just right up there. It's fun.
Yeah.
I went
Brian,
early, though.
Byron says 20 below walking for Frink buying lot. They should pay me.
For real.
You know, would it be too much to have a shuttle go from there? A couple of shuttles go from
Right.
those parking lots to help people out.
Right?
You know, I mean, they already took the train away for football.
Yeah,
I thought that was the best thing since toast and butter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why because they do it in other places, so why not?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah. Well, hopefully my knees will start working next year, next September when I go back, because I'm going to try to make a Hawkeye game, but I also got to
Okay.
work it around a class reunion.
oh, fun.
That'll be my 50th. Can you believe it?
Go Sailors.
Sailors, yes. Go Sailors. There's nothing special like being a sailor. Once a
Nope.
sailor, always a sailor.
Yep. Once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye. Once a sailor, always a sailor.
Yeah. So we do want to announce that it is Senior Day, a
Mhm.
time that actually works for me on Sunday, 3 p.m. Central, which is 1
Right,
p.m.
right.
my time. On Peacock, I can finally watch the whole game or not sneak it in my cell phone.
Right?
Okay. Maryland beats Indiana by 14. I'll have to check the standings later.
Oh,
I
wow.
wish I could able to get them up here for us.
I mean,
so we
Maryland.
kind of start because the standings are going to start to shake themselves out.
They
I would
are.
like to say that Northwestern picked up 2 losses today without even trying.
Really? Wow.
Yep. They did not travel out to
Oh, yeah,
Los
Northwestern
Angeles.
did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did not travel out to. However, Penn State went out for the same rotation. They went.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. They wanted to, out of the abundance of safety for their players. They just didn't want to get beat by both schools.
No, they didn't. And
You
they
know.
did anyway.
Of course, both UCLA and USC were awarded a win each.
Right. I mean, it
You
happened
know.
anyway. Like, why
Yeah.
do
I
that?
kind of was wondering why Northwestern was, when I looked at the standings originally, why they were so few games behind everybody. Everybody has like 1 game left. And I'm looking at they got like 3 games left to play.
I think people forget about them. Oh, wait, we got to play them.
Yeah, I believe. I would like to point out though that Wisconsin is not in the bottom 3 of the Big Ten.
Mm-mm.
So I hope we don't take them
Who is it,
lightly.
Rutgers?
Because we took Remember, I think we took Northwestern lightly, and we took us everything to beat. I think that was right. We came off a win of USC before that, I believe, and now we're coming off a big Michigan win, and and that's so key because that's going to guarantee if we can get this win Sunday a winning season in the Big Ten.
They know.
And it will give us win number 20 on the season. Jan in her first season, a 20-win season.
It's good.
All right, last thing. Let's do this.
The bracket. The
bracket.
Big Ten
This is-
bracket.
yeah.
What are we going to do?
The NCAA. No, we'll talk about this. NCAA has put out their top 16 brackets.
Okay.
Okay, as I mentioned before, UCLA has got the number 1 overall seed.
Okay.
So the 4 number 1 seeds would be UCLA, Texas, USC, and Notre Dame. It's great. 2 Big Ten teams get number 1 seeds, but however, they're not legacy teams, so it doesn't make me feel good. The number 2 seeds are South Carolina, UConn, LSU, and NC State. And this is where I got confused. Number 3 seeds are TCU, UNC, Duke, and Tennessee. And the 4 seeds are Oklahoma, Kentucky, Kansas State, and Ohio State.
Huh.
Okay, so that's nice that we got 3 Big Ten teams in the top. But Ohio State got robbed last year. Shouldn't they have had a number 1 seed, or did they get a number 1 seed last year?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I think they got robbed. They're actually a pretty good team year in and year out.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're pretty solid.
They are.
So that's where I'm at. Indiana owns the tiebreaker over us, apparently. So I don't know where we're going to finish in the standings. I'm just going to wait and worry about it come Sunday afternoon.
It is what it is.
We'll know exactly where we stand when the game is over Sunday.
Yep, it is what it is, and
there's a lot of teams crowded in there, and I'm sure the Big Ten's got to figure out tiebreakers against whom.
Yeah,
we'll the ones we need to worry about are probably the men. The men are on the verge of not making the tournament at all.
Getting a new coach.
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to get a new coach. This is my personal feeling. He'll be back next year. It's an opinion. It's not based on anything other than he's still out there recruiting. You know, he's still trying to bring in guys for next year. He's still out there trying to actively get that big guy from Cedar Falls.
Well, and it's hard to. I mean, it's hard to find.
If he's coaching next year.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not coaching next year, it's only. Okay.
Well,
yeah. It's only because he got fired.
Right.
I don't think he's retiring like some people think he is.
It's hard to find somebody to replace coaches at Iowa. It's just hard.
Yeah. Well, especially since
bring Bruce Pearl back. Bring Bruce Pearl back.
Oh, he's too old. I want somebody who's going to be around for a while. I like that young guy coaching Drake this year who took over for Drake. He's had nothing but success wherever he's been.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So it's a good thing we don't have to have this conversation about Jan, do we? Can you remember earlier in the year during our losing streak, the heat she was taking?
Ah, poor girl.
And she rose above it. She proved everybody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her saying, I think it was after their 5th loss, she said, "You guys, it may not look it to you guys, but this team is closer than you think."
But no, for real.
You know, and she would know. It's her team. She would know.
Right. Yeah. And they're breaking out right when they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right there in tournament time.
All right. I think this has been a good show. Appreciate it. Let's work on some guests for the next show.
Sure.
Probably not sure which day we're going to do it, but it'd be after the Wisconsin game, after we know the bracketing for the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to talk bracketology with the Big Ten on that day. So
yes,
we'll figure out a day and we'll let everybody know.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Molly. Thank you guys for watching the show. Appreciate it. Share it, like, subscribe, everything above.
Bye, y'all.